filming this on an early Saturday morning, a day of rest for most people, and also a day of just relaxing from the week that they've had. And I switch on my internet this morning and see that a good friend of mine who is quite religious um, has a video encouraging about, I'm sure, what we're all facing. I'm sure the theme of that is centered around that because I haven't looked at the video. Sorry, if you know who you are. Well, I just want to mention something that I think is going to help all of us as we come to these days and months ahead and years, even years ahead. And that is the subject of fear. You know, the subject of the unknown. What happens next? And I was, you know, expressing my fear to my wife because I wasn't sure how my job and even my health would be impacted by the decisions made for my new government. But I've come to realize one thing, that no matter how my worries are, I'm sure there are worries of families who are living in this country who may be taken away. There may be instances of prices becoming too unaffordable for families to maintain a good life. And the relationships between individuals, interpersonal relationships, may become strained because of what's happened. You know, we're already starting to see that. But I would just say, no matter what, no matter what happens, keep your focus. Don't let present day realities change the person that you are. If you've always been a person who's helped the homeless, had always been cordial to people, never change. Because that's what this time and this moment wants you, and even the atmosphere in this country when it changes in a few months or 2 months. It requires you to be mean spirited. It requires you to just do whatever you want to do without consequence. It just requires you to curse people out if you have a different opinion. But all that doesn't matter in the end. You have to keep your focus no matter what. Because when you keep your focus, all the outside noise and the weird imaginations should not matter. You have to still remain the person that you are. You have to be that person who still has that Christian like attitude and showing no deference to anyone, but treating everyone the same, right? Regardless of skin color, nationality, regardless. With all due respect in this world, not just this country, but in this world, we do have this thought that how we treat each other in this country is the world, and that's not so. But I would just say that we still have to continue to be our brother's keeper. We still have to continue to be someone to help out and give a helping hand when possible. And just really the way that we speak with people, the way we talk with people, communication, not talking to them like they're combative or they're the enemy, but just talking to them like they're human beings, that they're made from the same flesh, mind, body, spirit as you or I. There are going to be some voices that'll be contrary to that. I heard that in the 1980s. You remember, those of you who are Gen X or older, boomers, you remember all the talk. I even referenced it in the poem Doctrine of the Commandments of Men. Kill a commie for mommy. Better dead than red. Um, all the other sayings against Russia, right? And it's funny because now this country is partnering with Russia. And in fact, if you happen to believe all the stories out there, Russia kind of helped the last 2 out of 3 elections. But I'm not going to say anything. But I just want everyone to just, regardless of political ideology, regardless of where you stand socially, that should not change the person that you are. All this mean-spiritedness we're about to see should not change you, should not make you worse off. Unfortunately, there'll be quite a few of us who will take the bait and commit acts so atrocious and permitted, as we have seen, that is just a sad thing. It's really just sad. But it's not sad, it's meant to be this way. And it's meant to be this way to show how we as human beings can be. We're not all loving or have a spirit of peace and unity. We often invite that spirit of dissension, that spirit of chaos, recklessness, all of the evil terms that you want to say. We invite that spirit in because just like Eve took a bite of that apple, it tastes good. Never had it taste quite like it. As that apple went down the throat, and Adam too, tastes good. Maybe I just have another, can't have another bite. But we'll continue to bite on that apple of chaos and dissension because we want it. We need it. We need to tell each other how better we are from one another. And if you're well educated, if you're intelligent, you're looked at as the enemy because how dare you be smarter than me? If you happen to look at recent polls, you see that the non-educated group, they're growing. And that's sad. I think those of us who are of a certain age, we grew up wanting to go to school or have our elders say you should stay in school, right? But we have come such a point in our country that even our educational system, and I know, trust me, our educational systems are divided into whatever is our taste, whatever appeals to our senses, and whatever we want to impose on our young people. But still, after all that, you as a man, woman, maybe other, young or old, rich or poor, lonely or surrounded by friends and family, keep your focus. Remain true to who you are. I think Shakespeare, in one of the plays, even mentioned this. To thy own self be true. To thy own self be true. Meaning that no matter what happens on the outside, no matter what ideologies and weird imaginations and conspiracy theories are floating around these ears, remain true to yourself. Remain true to everything that you've been taught everything you've learned, the morals that have been instilled in you by perhaps your elders, your parents, and just simply be the best example to those outside as much as you can. I have students who look up to old Mr. Chapman, and that's because I set an example of fairness, I set an example of patience, and more importantly, I let them be themselves. I'm not trying to impose my will or my beliefs or whatever on these individuals because they are individuals. The young people growing up in a world that just seems to get harsher every single decade. And we can't allow that to remain. We have to change the page. We have to allow these individuals to be who they want to be. And that includes all of us as well watching this and me speaking this. So, as I conclude, I just want to say that the Lord is, if you believe, allowed us this moment in time to reflect and just to see where we're going. Just to see where we are in this moment in time. And we have a choice to make. Either we remain on this path towards self-destruction, or we decide to change this path and make something new and right and good for not only this generation, but the ones following that. It's up to us to turn the page of hatred and just remain true to what we've always been taught, to find peaceful solutions and to treat each other peacefully. Like I said, it's a high, lofty goal, but it can be achieved. And there'll be quite a few individuals in the news and in other instances that wish to not make that a reality. We shall see. We shall see. Thank you for watching. If you like what you've seen, I invite you to click the subscribe button down below so you get more content like this on this channel. If you like this video, hope it encouraged you, hope it enriched your life, you can click the like button, and if you want to comment, whichever way you want to comment, if you agree or disagree, doesn't matter. I invite you to do that as well. We live in interesting times, ladies and gentlemen, folks out there. We live in very interesting times. But we don't have to succumb to those times. All we have to do is just remain true to ourselves, and the rest should be easy. I want to thank each and every one of you watching. Have a good day, evening, week. Whenever you're seeing this, in closing, take care.